Okay, I'm just here to do a review. I really don't have subscribers much or anything like that. Just I'm an ice fisherman. I do a lot of it, and there's always people looking for reviews. And when I was looking for DH custom rod reviews, I really couldn't find any. So I thought I'd do one here. I know I look like a hobo kind of. It's my around the house sweatshirt. I just woke up. I work 5:30 to 12:30, so um at night. Anyways, in front of me here, I got my panfish box. It's I got a DH custom longboard noodle, JT Rogue, which are both 32 inch, and a JT Panhandler 24 inch with spring bobber. I also got my JT panfish snare here. As you can tell, I'm really like JT stuff, you could say. I do like their rods, but I just want to throw a quick comparison out there what I think. I know there's Ace Custom, Megs Custom. These are out of the ones I've tried here. I'll show you the DH Custom Longboard Noodle here quick. I picked this up at the St. Paul Ice Show a couple years ago and used it and really liked it. It's got a pretty fast action to it. You can fish anything from your small jigging wraps for panfish up to your number 3s, 4s, down to your 3mm jigs is kind of what I use it for. I mean, it's got a good curve to it, good rod, fights fish well, holds up well. This does not have recoil guides on it. You can buy it with recoil guides, but I did not see the point in spending another $30 on basically the same thing for the same reason. I'll get into that later though. Rod fights fish well. It's a good rod. It does a heck of a job. I got 3-pound test on it, fluorocarbon. You can feel a bite in this ABS handle here. That's one of their key things. They got a cork handle, and you can pay a little extra and get this ABS. Definitely get the ABS handle. They got different styles, whatever fits your needs. Get it in almost any color you want. Same with blank. Their rods, they got in all different colors. This can be, this longboard noodle, I think is 30 to 36 or 31 to 36 inches long. You can get it. Heck of a rod. You can feel a bite in it. I mean, like I said, you can use down to 3mm, getting pretty light. That's where my panhandler comes in handy, or smaller presentations. And that's why the panhandler is kind of on a league of its own. I'm sure it's got a spring bobber, so I'm sure it's kind of like DH Customs panty dropper. You get in them spring bobbers, and that's for your really finesse ultralight bites. Anyways, we'll continue on with the DH Customs here. Most noodle rods are meant just to be a sight bite. I mean, you see it when they hit it. You just see, but this, you can actually feel it into the handle. It's well built. Sorry, I'm looking outside. It's raining out. Crappy day. But you can actually feel a bite in this handle, and unlike most noodle rods, I really like it. I've fished with it for a couple years now, and I bought the Rogue at the exact same time. And honestly, the only time it gets used when my wife goes out. At the beginning of this year, I said I was just going to leave my DH rod at home, not use it, and take out the Rogue. I did that once, and that was it. The Rogue is a good rod. Don't get me wrong. It's paired up with a Fluger Tryon. I think I actually got 2-pound on this just because that's what I had put on it a couple years ago when I got it, or when they first came out. I guess was last year or 2 years ago. I don't know, but I fished all last season and this season so far with it. Definitely, whenever this rod came out is when I bought both of them. Anyways, it's 32 inch also. I keep it with this DH rod being so versatile. I keep rods set up for bites. My panhandler is always set up with usually a gold jig, because gold's kind of go-to for me. If I'm going out in the dark, I'll throw a glow-in-the-dark jig on it quick. But usually it's set up with 2.5, 3mm jig. That's almost all the time. My JT Rogue here, I'll always have it set up with some sort of a Z-Viber. Kender Outdoors has the K-Rip. Or I just use the Rapala jigging wraps mostly. they work just fine. Jigging wraps, ripping wraps, slab wraps, I got a variety of all of them. But I keep the JT Rogue rigged up with one of them because I think it is it's a good rod. It just doesn't handle the 4mm well. The 5mm it handles good. It needs something heavier. It needs a decent bite to it. No, it isn't. It isn't a stiff rod. It's a good rod. But had I not used that DH custom rod, it would be a great rod. It's a really good rod. Does its job for me well. But if I was to tell somebody, if somebody always asks, you always get the question, what rod would you pick if you could pick just one? Well, I definitely won't go with the panhandler because the spring bobber really screws you in a lot of ways. It's a great rod. It has its purpose. But it's not the most versatile. And the Rogue's on the other end of the spectrum. Now, if you have the panhandler and the Rogue, you're probably set up pretty good. But I think that DH Custom covers a wider variety. I mean, you can fish your buckshot spoons, your VMC tinglers, your heavier. You can fish your jigging spoons. You can even use your jigging wraps on it, which I do quite often actually, because I prefer it over the Rogue. But it covers a wider variety of your bases. You can fish it light and you can fish it heavy. And the Rogue to me is just more aimed toward the heavier stuff. The panhandler is definitely on the lighter side, but that's spring bobber. I mean, you almost have to have a rod with spring bobber in your arsenal. And I love the panhandler. I've caught some big fish with it. I wouldn't ever trade the panhandler in, I don't think. But back to the JT Rogue and the DH Custom. So the Rogue has, your recoil guides. And what's this rod? $110, $115. Paying an extra, $30 because you're getting that spring bobber. Or not spring bobber, recoil guides, mind you. Whereas the DH Custom rod here doesn't have recoil guides. But the whole idea behind the recoil guides is it's one loop there for cleaning it off, makes it easy. Well, I can just as easy go like this and knock ice off this as I can a recoil guide. Yeah, can I bend it as hard as I can? No. But you shouldn't have to. It's just a little bit of ice on there. You just rub it and it comes right off. So you save yourself, I think, $20-$30 right there. Not buying the recoil guides. Now, it is, I think, another $15. The rod, I think is like $90. And then the handle upgrade to the ABS, I think, is another $15. It's well worth every penny. There's like the sure grip on the JT rods is nice. I really do like it. I don't know if it compares to this ABS handle though. I really, this ABS handle kind of takes cake for me. I just one rod fits all. It doesn't, but if I was to take one rod, it'd be my 32-inch DH Customs at the moment. I do want to get a couple more actually, so I can have them rigged up with different stuff, and just have the DH longboard noodles because I really like them. And I like, you can get shorter versions. I think they're 7 deuce or they're al dente or something. I don't know a whole lot about them. I'm just going off of what I have and what I've used so far. The panhandler, like I said, I'll show you here. I actually got a gold jig on it with a panfish plastic bloodworm right now. Just a little 3 mil there, maybe 2.5. And it's got a reel I'm not too fond of on it, but it's got a good drag system and whatnot. But this, I mean, you can see this is for your ultra light bites. Now, my brother will fish this panhandler with his, so you can see that up bite even on there. That's what makes this special. That's a like 2.5, 3 millimeter jig, and I just seen an up bite. But anyways, back to my brother. He'll fish this with he thinks I'm goofy with these 2.5, 3, 4 millimeter jigs. He fishes almost strictly 5s, some 4s. 4s are getting pretty small, he thinks. But he'll fish this panhandler with it. Well, this panhandler is like that. It springs bent right over. When you go to jig and it just flops like this. It just, you have no control with them bigger jigs, and especially the tungsten on a light action like that. So that's part of the reason everybody's going to a lot of these, noodle rods or these heavier panfish rods. But that's my 2 cents. Thanks.